Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Moving Forward with the ICCI, the podcast of the International Coaching and Counseling Institute. What an amazing guest we have today. She's actually here for the second time. Hi, Galit.
I think it's the third, actually.
Third, yes. You're right. Because the second time was when you interviewed me.
You, yeah.
Yeah, so the first time you were here was episode 7. We called it, if you don't listen to your body when it whispers, you'll have to listen to it when it shouts, about your work as a nutritionist. And then you interviewed me after I had my cancer, all about my cancer story. You're absolutely right. But now you're here again. And it's very exciting because you are one of our students. So you're at a very advanced stage of your studies. But what happened was that after we recorded the first episode and you became our student, something happened to you, which we're going to
talk about that.
And you said to me when you came back, you said, we must record another podcast episode just about that. And we were waiting, and life happened.
That's true.
And now we are here recording it again. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Always a pleasure. I think we should just start to tell the story. What was it?
Let's just dive in.
Yes. Why was it so important for you to ask me to record another podcast episode?
Okay. So I'm going to tell this adventure that happened, I think, more than about 2.5 years ago. So what happened is my son graduated his university course, and to celebrate, we decided to go on a holiday together. And we both like hiking, so we planned a hiking trip in the Dolomites in north of Italy, which is a really beautiful area with dramatic scenery, with high mountains, rocky mountains. It's a heaven for climbers and for hikers. And we planned a 4-day walking trip where we carry everything with us, and we are sleeping in huts. So it was from hut to hut walking trip. So we planned everything. We packed. We
I remember the planning. I remember you talking about it.
It was mainly me who did the planning because he was busy with his end of the year exams in university. So it was mainly me who was doing the planning and the booking and everything. But there we are. We took a plane and we flew to Venice. And I thought it would be nice to have one night in Venice just to explore a little bit, to show him Venice before we depart on our adventure. So we arrived to Venice and we're waiting for our backpacks to come out. Mine came out and his did not. Okay. So that was the first thing. So everything we had planned, and he carried the bigger backpack with all the food and everything, just didn't arrive. Okay, what are we going to do? We kind of, we have to leave tomorrow morning. We had trains and everything booked. We decided just to keep the plan as is, even that he didn't have. I had a smaller backpack, so we packed that with a lot of things, and then he took my backpack, and this we'll get everything on the way. So we kind of bought
food and
just clothes. So we were in Venice, so we just got some underwear and t-shirts and socks and everything. Luckily his hiking shoes was on his feet, so that was okay. So that's the first thing that didn't go as planned. Yes. And then we arrived to our destination after a whole day of traveling, and it's beautiful, and we are starting the hike. And the first day we started kind of late, of course, and we were hiking, and the weather was terrible. We couldn't see a meter ahead of us. It was foggy, and we had to walk on ice, and it was a lot, and we just were completely not oriented. And then the most difficult point where it was starting to get dark and we had no idea where we were, all of a sudden 2 angels came. Those 2 hikers, German hikers, and said, "Oh yeah, just keep walking in this direction. You'll find the refugio. This is the huts." Okay, so refugio. So we keep walking, and eventually we found the hut, the refugio. It was beautiful. It was lovely. We had a nice meal. No hot water, but okay. You have to sleep with everyone in a dormitory room. Okay, I'm young. I can do it. Yeah. And then we start our second hiking day. It's beautiful. At the beginning of the trail, there were more hikers walking, but at some point, we found ourselves completely by ourselves. We didn't see anyone. The scenery is stunning, and we are talking, and we are having a wonderful time, and the weather is perfect, and we are climbing, and we are already above the tree line. Wow. And it's amazing. And then we... then we came across landslide, the land and rock slide. Yeah. So it was like a big slide of big boulders, and we couldn't find the trail. We couldn't see it. We had an idea that the trail will continue on the other side of the slide. So we kind of climbed on the boulders and we crossed the slide, and we found the trail, and we started walking in the trail. We weren't...
But what does it look like? How do you recognize this is
it's just like
a landslide?
It's just like a big slide of boulders and rocks. You can see it's just like a part of the mountain just kind of collapsed.
All right.
So it's big boulders and small rocks, and we climbed and we crossed it, and then we found the trail on the other side, and we were quite sure that was the right trail according to the map. So we were walking.
What maps did you have?
We had like a good hiking map, but we also trusted the hiking, the navigating apps, but that was not working very well because the reception was quite poor. But so we started walking in the trail. It kind of fitted to the map, so we believed it was the right path. Also, because of the landslide, probably the marking, there's signs. The signs and the marking was probably also, we couldn't find any. Yeah. But we found the trail, and we found the marking, and we thought that this would be the trail that will lead us to the second refugio, on the second night. And we were walking, and it was a very, very challenging trail. Part of it was really narrow, and you're walking on the side, right on the side of the mountain, and it's very deep decline on the side.
Cliff.
It's a cliff, yeah. You're walking on a cliff, and there's a cable that you have to attach yourself, or you have to hold. So it was, and sometimes you just walk on the sideways. So you're facing the mountain, you're holding the cable, and you're walking like sideway. And then there was a very big climb up, and then after about an hour and a half of that, we stopped to rest. And it was beautiful, kind of meadowy place, and the view was stunning. And I remember even there was a rainbow in the horizon, and it was just perfect. We had a perfect. And then we are looking at the map, and then we understand that something is wrong. We're not in the right direction. We try to find the location of the second refugio. Sometimes we have the navigation app on the phone, sometimes not. But eventually we understood that we walked in the wrong direction.
Wow.
Which was a very difficult moment because it meant that we have to walk back to the landslide. Back an hour and a half.
That very,
very, very challenging.
Down the way this time.
So we climbed a lot, and we had to climb down now. We have to go down and to go on the steep path and all the way back. So that was a moment that we really had to embrace ourselves. It's okay. It happened. This is the situation now. There's nothing we can do. We just have to go back, Come on, embrace yourself. Let's go. And so we kept high spirits, and we walked back. It took us a little bit.
What time of the day was it?
So when we got back to the landslide, where we thought that the path split and we took the wrong side of the path, it was already afternoon, maybe 4 or maybe a little bit later. So it was.
And it was June.
It was June. There was still light. So we knew that it's going to be light until quite late. And we're trying to call the refugio to get some instructions. We just cannot find the right path. Later on, we understood that the path was just buried under the landslide. So there was but there's bad reception. They don't speak very good English. They try to help us, send us your location. Do you want us to send somebody to pick you up? A whole hour is going back and forth with them. It's 5:00 in the afternoon, and the weather is starting to change and we see heavy clouds shifting and the fog starting to come down. So it's just like we're drenched. We are like surrounded with fog that is becoming heavier and heavier. So it's also becoming darker.
Scary.
Yes. And, you don't want to spend the night on the mountain, right? We don't have tents. We don't have equipment, and it starts raining, and we said and the people from Refugio said at that point, you'd better go and look for another place, because we don't think you would make it to where we are tonight. So that was the second point where
are there many of them on the mountain? You said in plural,
refugios. Yeah, I guess they're scattered. So there's probably within an hour and a half to 2 hours, you'll find something. So we are looking at the map.
But also not when it's getting dark.
Yeah, but to get to the original refugio, we had to climb even higher, and we decided that the best thing would be just to climb off the mountain, to get off the mountain, into the valley, and look for another refugio there. So we looked at the map. We saw something. We managed to call them. They said, "Yeah, no problem. Come. We'll have a room for you." And then at that point, we just decided to go down the mountain, the shortest and fastest that we can. I don't know if it was the fastest, but it was the shortest. We decided to go down the slide. So just walk on the slide, climb down on the slide. That would be the direct line all the way down, because otherwise we'll have to go in a very windy path.
Was that safe?
Yeah, it was okay. It was safe. I don't think we were not safe, but it was very challenging because you are climbing down boulders and rocks, and sometimes it's not stable, and you really have to watch your footings. And some of it, we just you sit on your bum and you just slide down. And at that point, it started raining, and it was heavy rain and heavy fog and dark, starting to become darker and darker. And the footing was really, really challenging. But we kept good spirits. We were singing and laughing and telling jokes. And when I was a little bit bummed, he was encouraging me. And when I felt that he was a little bit, fed up with the situation, then I found the right thing to say. And so we were very supportive, and we kept good spirits. And then eventually we got off the slide, and then we walked in a kind of a very soft, grassy forest, which was completely soaked with water, and it was off the path because we didn't follow a path. We just cut it through.
I don't know how you did that.
Me neither. But when you have to, because you think otherwise I'm going to stay here and spend the night. Then okay, no. It's anyway. At some point we did find the path, and we walked on the path.
How do you find the path? Are there?
It's just it's the path where people walk.
Okay.
And it was.
Are there signs like?
There from time to time there is a sign, but then you see that it's not grassy. You see that it's a path that was walked.
Okay.
So of course at that point we were super relieved. At all that time we didn't see even one person. We were just on our own, with telephones that were already, we had batteries, but no reception. So it's really just the two of us in the middle of this beautiful area in a heavy rain and fog. And when we found the path, we still had to walk for another 2 hours until we ended up at the refugio. So it was about 9:30 at night.
Wow.
When we arrived, soaked to the bones, like two stray dogs.
Yeah.
And they were very relieved to see us, because they were expecting us, and immediately took our clothes to dry, and we could take a shower and we could eat something. It was extraordinary, really, just such a relief. And we felt so accomplished for overcoming such an experience. And then, of course, from there on, we had to change the path, and we had to book new refuges, and we walked in a different way that we planned.
Yeah,
because it changed the whole route that we took.
So, I have questions. Just out of curiosity, how old was he when you did it?
He was 21. Yeah, 21.
Yeah. And was that the first time that you did something like that?
Yeah, he went on hikings with his friends, so that's what he likes to do. And he went with his high school friends with, hiking and sleeping in tents. So they took all the equipment with them. So not even sleeping in huts, but like really sleeping wild camping. So he did that. So he had some experience. I'm also quite an experienced hiker, and I'm good with maps usually. But I never done anything like this before.
So that was
my first hut to hut
and son.
We hiked a lot before, but never from hut to hut.
Yeah, so that was the first.
That was the first, and we never did it just the two of us. We usually do it the whole family.
So tell me, what made you call me after that trip and tell me, Noah, we have to record another episode for the podcast?
Yeah. Because I'm a person who usually, thinks about things and reflects a lot and try to learn from life experience and also learn deeper meaning of it. I kind of thought, how many times through our lives we are in the situation where the path we went on or the place where we are, it's not the right place for us, or it's not the right path for us, or we have tried something and it failed. And you are in the situation where you have to make a decision. Do I continue in the same direction, or I completely change and recalculate my route? And this ability of to be in the situation and to move forward is such it's a superpower. It's really a superpower. And we live in such a fast-changing world. Professions of today are not going to be relevant tomorrow. And people who worked, in high-tech, in coding or whatever, and making a lot of money now are unemployed. And that's just one example. The world is changing so fast. And to have that ability, that flexibility, to be flexible in your mind, and to cultivate that, I think it's such an important
asset.
Completely, yeah. Such an important skill to have. It also, I'm also connecting it to yoga, because I'm a yogi and I practice yoga every day. And yoga is not a fitness. It's a way to cultivate your mind and to help you live better with yourself, with the world around you, and so on. One and two very important things we work on yoga is strength and flexibility. And it's two contradicting qualities, let's say, but it is so important to find the balance, to have the balance between the two, because just to be strong is also not so good, right? You really have to be flexible, but just to be flexible and not to be strong, you're also lacking something. So to find this balance between strength and flexibility is something that is I'm thinking a lot about in my life, in all context. And specifically, I'm thinking, okay, where is it good to be strong in your life? So it's good to be strong with your values, to have a strong idea of what you want to do or how you want to do it, to have a plan, right?
Yeah.
It's your strength. But then what if it doesn't work? Or what if you discovered on the way that the path you're working or the plan you made is not it's not relevant, or it's not what you wanted, or maybe there's another goal for you. Maybe there's So this ability to be able to not to stick to the original plan, but recalculate your rule and to be flexible is really important. And because I was starting my journey as a coach back then, it immediately took me to the process we're going through with coaches. As coaches, you set up goals or intentions. You look at the situation. You see what are the possibilities. You find. You decide on the direction, the path you wanna go with your coachee. You start walking. You make a plan. Okay.
You help them make a plan.
Yes, we make a plan with them together. They choose, and then they start walking and implementing the plan. And then at a certain point, we have to reflect if the plan is working for you, if you are in the place where you want it to be, and to be brave and to admit sometimes to realize that maybe this is not the right path for me, or maybe there's another goal that is much more suitable to who I am now, where I am now, what I wanted. Maybe other things, other factors has been revealed during, while I was walking already. So have that flexibility is something that is really important to work with our clients as coaches. So this is why I really wanted to talk about it. To see how we can learn from that. It was my private little story. It felt very dramatic at the moment, but in hindsight, it was just a few hours or a day, and then it's gone. But I didn't want to leave it there. I really wanted to reflect on it and to see how there was so much important information that I could withdraw from that experience. And of course, I wanted to share it.
So thank you so much for thinking of the podcast and of sharing it and sharing your insights. And it was nearly 2.5 years ago. I mean, around 2.5 years ago, which of course now in your journey as a coach, there's so much more insights and things, because what you're saying is you're talking about the ability to reassess, to have something that you want, that you put out there as a plan, but to be able to reassess, am I on the right path? This is what happened to you, right? You were sure you're on the right path. Probably in your story, you made a mistake, which if we also look at life, sometimes you think you're on the right path and no, you have made a mistake, a wrong choice. It can be with a partner, with what to do, and anything. And to be able to go back like you did, and say, okay, we need to do something else. We need to choose a different path. It can be rocky. The new path can also, it doesn't mean it's easy. You went down the mountain on this rocky landslide, not knowing what you're going to do. And that is really a good metaphor for life.
For life, absolutely. Life can be challenging, but also to be in that moment where we think, we walked all the way.
Yes.
It was a very challenging path and a climb. And that just the thought of going back, spending all that energy for nothing. How many times in life does it happen to us? We think that we're doing the right thing. We invest everything, whether it's a business opportunity or a new initiation or a project or anything, so many times, and you put so much energy. And then at a certain point, you have to be brave to say, this is actually not working for me.
Yeah.
I have to go back. I have to start all over again.
I have to admit that I was wrong.
Exactly. That point is so challenging, and it takes so much resources and from us.
Strength to be able to say that.
Yeah. And we kind of cling, but no, maybe we will just go a little bit. And I remember we thought, maybe we'll just walk a little bit more. Maybe we'll see another path. Maybe, because just the thought of going back, all that way
Yes.
was quite so you kind of it's a your brain plays tricks on you and you think, okay, I'll keep going a little bit more, but then there's a point where you understand, okay, you have to go back.
Especially that I don't know if you know this caricature that of two people who are mining and one of them is giving up just before the treasure or the gold.
Yeah.
And we are being told, no, keep on digging, don't give up. But yes, at one point, disappointing as it might be, we have to say enough. We were digging enough. What else can I do? And going back, it could feel like a failure. But what you're saying is, from your story, you had to make the decision basically to save your life. You to save your life. I'm sure you would have survived the night on the mountain.
Yeah, but it would not be a nice, pleasant experience. It could be also dangerous, of course, and life risking. But yeah, absolutely. To be able to say, okay, let's change directions, and to be brave enough to admit that we are in the wrong place, and then to be brave enough to go back after all that climb
and to a place that's also unknown. There was a landslide.
To the landslide where we didn't know how to continue from there, and we kind of hoped that we will find a path, but eventually we did not. So life is full of risks and the unknown. The future is always in a way unknown,
and please let us all remember that. We sometimes think our path is paved for us. That's what our parents wanted for us. This is what I should do. This is what I said I'm going to do. And it's very difficult to say no. No, it doesn't work. Or that's not what I want anymore. Or I went through an exploration path and I realized what I thought is for me isn't for me. It is a very difficult thing to do.
Yeah.
And yet, sometimes we have to do it. Of course, it is better and easier to do it with somebody with you, next to you.
Yes,
because it's a difficult decision.
Yeah.
So, and you want to kind of brainstorm. You want to think.
Yeah.
What can I do? Don't get me wrong. Sometimes we need to take decisions by ourselves.
True.
We take millions of decisions in every day of our life, but some of them we have to do it ourselves. But the thinking process or the mutual decision can actually be something that...
So that was the second thing I took from that experience. I said, if I'm already in such a situation, there wouldn't be anyone else apart from my son to be in that situation. And I learned and understood that to surround yourself with the right people is really, really important in life. Yes. Because the way both of us handled it, and I was so impressed from him, the way he kept his spirits. He was chill and cool, and he never really got, panicked or anything, and was able to think clearly and to communicate in the best way. So there was no
communicate
with me. Yeah. So both of us, we could communicate in a very positive way, very constructive way. So instead of, being angry or blaming each other for the mistake we did or for the wrong...
Why did you not take the right map?
Yeah, the wrong map or not enough good planning. We could have dwelled on that for a long time, but that wouldn't have moved us forward to finding a solution.
Yeah.
And what I liked about the situation is that the way we were together in it on the same level, the way we communicated, the way we both said, okay, this is the situation, now what we do. Okay, without blaming ourselves or without,
blaming each other
or just, freaking out or just completely being paralyzed and, or panicky or what are we going to do or I don't know. We just said, it is what it is. This is a situation. Let's look at all the different options. And we were able to discuss all the different options and come to a solution or find the right solution and make the decisions together. So I think that's true. We make so many decisions ourselves. But if you have someone next to you, whether it's a family member, a partner, a co-worker, a colleague, people next to you that you can communicate on such a good level, productive, progressive, moving forward with them rather than people that drag you back.
Yeah.
Just people that will help you move forward. And through the communication, we could relax each other. So we gave confidence to each other, and we could make the best decision for that moment. And we could really move forward rather than just get stuck on that mountain, literally.
Yeah.
And this is something I really take from that experience. You really have to be very mindful. Okay, this is my son. Okay, so it's not just a random person, but I was very lucky that he is the way he is, and I learned that I can trust him in difficult situation. This is it was a new situation. It's the first time it happened to us, but I learned a lot about his character, about the way we are together, communicating, solving problems, supporting each other. And I thought, this is exactly the type of people I want to be with and surround myself. And I have to be mindful about the people I work with, the people I choose to spend time with, because this is this type of people that I'm kind of, playing in my mind. Will I go on a hike with them? Will I get stuck on a mountain with them? And if the answer no, is probably I won't do a business adventure with them or a project or no, because it taught me a lot about how important it is to be in process. And it could be also in the coaching. If you choose the right coach, it's a coach that will take you forward, that will help you communicate, that will help you to see clearly things, that will support you with the decision making, show you other options, because the communication is good. Then you're talking about things, you see more options available than just what you see when you're just with yourself. So there was also something nice that I took from that experience.
And maybe as life progresses, we learn that some people are good to support us and be with us on one thing. Other people are, their characteristic is better for other things.
Of course.
And that goes to anything like choosing a partner. You might choose a partner that you know that you can do certain things with them, but not others. It's okay. And you just need to choose another person to do that other thing. I don't mean like splitting.
No, I'm not. No, of course, I'm not talking about hiking. Of course, not everyone are into hiking, but I'm talking about generally.
No, I know.
Walking hand to hand. It's a metaphor of being able to reflect, being able to communicate and see the options and just go forward rather than just dwell on the past.
Yes, but also, I'm taking my life. There's so many things that I will never do without Kevin. Mm-hmm. And both of us know that there are things that I'm not asking him because he's not interested in or he doesn't know. And I'll just walk the path with somebody else. I will communicate it with Kevin. Mm-hmm. Today I met that person, the other. I will tell him I'm going to do this and that. But I'm not expecting him to be my partner in thinking. Because he's, let's say, business. That's not his thing. He's doing other things. So what I'm saying, to choose for the different path you're going to take, to choose the right person for you. Mm-hmm. But there was another thing that you said that was making me think that you took those mutual decisions. You were supporting each other. Mm-hmm. You came there in the role of a mother. Mm-hmm. And he is 21. Yeah. How was that for you? What happened in those moments that between the two of you?
Yeah. So one of the interesting things that happened in the dynamic that back then on the mountain, on the top of the mountain, we are not a mother and son anymore. We are two equals because we are two people in the same situation, and we both took responsibility, and we were both responsible for finding a solution and making a decision. So it wasn't that my decision was more important or stronger than his. I did not have authority up on that mountain.
Yeah. You shared authority.
We shared authority. We were, it's not like one was more experienced than the other, or there was no authority.
Yeah.
I had to lose my authority, to give up my authority. And it felt okay. I didn't have a problem with that, I have to say, because I looked at him and I saw a mature young man, but mature, that takes responsibility and completely ready to claim his authority in life. So when you see that, then you know that it's okay to let go, because at certain point, in life, as we will age, we are going to be equal with our children. And at some point, they will take authority, probably.
Yes.
And this is also something we can use as a metaphor for coaching process. Because as a coach, obviously, you want to see your client takes authority and responsibility on their process.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're there for them to take them through a journey that they are choosing.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you tell them to do. It's what you are exploring together with them that they want to do. And I think in general, when we are lucky enough to have another person who's equal to us in authority, or at least it feels that they are, things move forward much quicker. And I'll give you an examples from my work in companies when I see that the authority, because there is a boss and there is a person who's working under them. But when I see that, yes, the description, the job description is that at the end of the day, one of them will have to take the decision, or to
the final decision, or sign the papers, and be responsible and accountable for it.
Exactly, or to report. Yeah, you see it. But when they manage to work together at eye level, experience, or they work together rather than hierarchically, they move forward faster. And it's also in terms of, how do I feel when I come to work? Am I enjoying this because I'm accepted as I am and I have a valid voice here? But, it's... I was thinking when you were talking a bit earlier about this, about the world of work, world, companies, etc. A lot of times, we see very successful teams. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people on the teams have the best knowledge or experience or expertise. A lot of times it works because they chose the right partners, which is exactly what you're saying. Choose the right partner for whatever you want to do. And then the atmosphere is usually great, and there's trust, and we make mistakes together. We learn from our mistakes. We take
responsibility together. We're not blaming.
Exactly. Which is a real tip here for people who are looking who to take the next step with, or who to bring in onto their project. It's somebody that you are happy to trust and to make mistakes with, rather than, like you're saying, an hour and a half of blaming who didn't take the map, who didn't look at the GPS or whatever equipment you might have, who didn't pack the batteries, all this kind of thing, and to take those decisions together.
Yeah. It is a very empowering experience when you are in a team that shares responsibility, that allows also vulnerability. And because if you're not safe in the environment, in your team, then you are not in the position to reflect and to be honest about it. You are more busy defending yourself or covering up for your mistakes. So this is something that I really take from it. To empower people and to be empowered, you have to be in that level of communication.
And would you say that the dynamics between you, were you both kind of happy, cheerful all the time, or how did it?
Most of the time.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the time we were happy. We cracked jokes, we sang. We yeah, it was it was it was kind of and when he was a little bit low, I was cheering him up or saying encouragement, and when I felt
during the crisis.
Yeah. So that was also nice, that dynamic.
So you kind of lifted each other, but also balanced each other.
Yeah.
And when we lost our son, one of the things that I learned back then from one of my friends who was a psychologist, and she said, you will see that there's going to be moments that you're going to be okay, and then Kevin will be down, and there is going to be moments that he's going to be or you're going to be down, and you will trust him that he will be okay, which is that balance again when you have the right partner, rather than we were both very sad all the time, but I trusted him to lift me up, and I could see that he needs me to be on the kind of, I don't know how to call it, upper side, but to lift him up, or at least one of us was always strong in that balance. So to pay attention to it, of course, not when it's ongoing, and one side is really crushed and the other one needs to do the work all the time. But also in life, also in everything, balance is...
It's really important. It's
super
kind of
important.
A seesaw situation.
Yes.
And then you balance each other, you support each other.
Yes. And but back to what we said a few minutes ago, also to know who is the person that will do that with you.
Who can you trust?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how did it end? How did the trip end?
With drinking whiskey in the refugio, a celebratory drink.
Yes.
Warming ourselves after being so wet and cold and exhausted, because we were walking basically more than 12 hours.
Wow. In the mountain.
Yeah. We had the best spirits, of course, and we felt so accomplished, and it was such a beautiful, loving experience. And we also recognized that how well we supported each other.
Yeah.
So it was a very empowering evening.
Yes,
indeed.
I can tell you that if parents are listening to us now, if there's one thing that is really makes an amazing shift, or moving your relationship forward with your children, is if you can take one of them on an adventure, a long enough or challenging enough adventure, a few days, a couple of weeks, one-on-one with them. It's a privilege. I'm aware of it.
It is a privilege.
It doesn't need to be in mountains in Italy. It can be
less challenging, but being in nature, and if you have the opportunity to be alone in nature, and it doesn't have to be a very remote or challenging or exotic place, but it can be anywhere. In nature, the level of communication, the quality of the relationship, it kind of purifies everything, and the depth of conversations, everything, and people are just different when they are in nature. So yeah,
that is true. But even if you're not, and you do it,
you can go on a road trip. You can go on a road trip.
If you're like me, and I took my son for a 3 weeks road trip in the USA, from family to friends to family. But we were hours together, sometimes on the road, just to see him able to do things,
Yeah.
knowing things,
Yeah.
checking things online when I'm driving.
So
Taking
capable,
initiative,
taking
taking
initiative,
care
yeah.
of. It was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
One of the best things I've ever done.
Yeah.
And he was 13, so hopefully I'll have more experiences like that with him, with his
It
sisters.
builds trust.
Absolutely.
It improves the communication. The dynamic is more balanced and healthy. Absolutely.
That one-on-one.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't suit all families. It doesn't suit everyone.
Find what works for you. There's not just
Exactly.
one thing. Absolutely.
Exactly. So that's another thing I take from your story, to have that quality time with them, and learn who they are, especially as they grow.
Exactly.
And to tell them, I really trust you and I love being with you. And they see you in a different angle, especially.
And also it's kind of initiation of adulthood, because
Yes.
it's exactly on the verge of, their transition from being a child, a teenager, into young adult. This is where you want them to take responsibility.
Yes.
Give them a responsibility.
Yes.
Empower them. Let them share your decisions.
Absolutely. Galit Hahn, third time on the podcast. We must say that episode 7 with you is really one of the more popular ones.
Good to know.
And your voice is so important. And thank you so much for sharing this story, which is a story that really helps us to look at different aspects in life and look at how we have choices. We need to make choices. We need to learn to be flexible and to say, I was wrong. This is not it.
Yeah.
Let's try again.
Yeah.
And
it is a strength to
Yes.
be able to reflect and to admit I was wrong. It's a
Yes,
strength.
absolutely.
It's not a weakness.
And ideally, if you have a partner to do, a good partner to do it with, we are lucky.
That makes the journey worth.
Yes. So
Okay,
here is a story, not a disastrous story.
No,
Thank
happy
God,
ending,
thank God,
happy ending.
happy ending, but still so much to learn from. So if you like this one and you think it's inspiring, please share our podcast episode with people that you know. Please listen to all the other episodes that we've recorded for you in the past. We have such a variety of episodes, sometimes with experts, sometimes with people who just really have a story. Galit here is an expert. Last time she was certainly as an expert, but sometimes we're inviting people who really just have a very good story to tell that we can all learn from. If you really, really liked us, please rate us on all the places, wherever you're listening to us, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening to us, please rate us, give us the highest rate, please. It really helps. And of course, share our episodes. I must tell you, I don't know if you know that, Galit, but over the last few months, I can never say this word, but how do you call it? It's like starting small, then
exponential.
Probably. This is probably the word that people really start listening to us and hearing our podcast. And I can really see that the number of listeners, that's really, really great. So it's a lot thanks to you that you keep listening.
That's good to know.
And you share. Yes, it's really good to know. And it's another life lesson. We have the podcast for nearly 3 years now.
Amazing.
And slowly, an episode, at a time. We're nearly at 30 episodes. You look back and you think, wow. But when I started it I had no idea where it's going to go. But yeah, so another life lesson, keep on doing things that you love doing and you think that work for you. Thank you very much. Let's say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.